Aruba Certified Network Security Associate Exam HPE6-A78 dumps are the best material for you to test all the related topics. Share some HPE6-A78 exam dumps questions here. 1. Which two statements are correct about tunnels? Choose 2. ABFD cannot be used to monitor tunnels. B. Tunnel endpoints must have a valid route to the remote tunnel endpoint. CIP/IP tunnels are stateful. D. Tunnels add additional overhead to packet size. 2. Which statement is correct about IP/IP tunnels? A. IP/IP tunnels only support encapsulating IP traffic. B. IP/IP tunnels only support encapsulating non-IP traffic. C. The TTL in the inner packet is decremented during transit to the tunnel endpoint. D. There are 24 bytes of overhead with IP/IP encapsulation. 3. You are configuring an as IGP network and do not see the as adjacencies established. In this scenario, what are 2 reasons for this problem? Choose 2. AMTU is not at least 1492 bytes. B. IP subnets are not a 30 address. C. The level 2 routers have mismatched areas. D. The low 0 interface is not included as an as interface. 4. You are asked to create a new firewall filter to evaluate Layer 3 traffic that is being sent between VLANs. In this scenario, which 2 statements are correct? Choose 2. A. You should create a family Ethernet switching firewall filter with the appropriate match criteria and actions. B. You should apply the firewall filter to the appropriate VLAN. C. You should create a family INET firewall filter with the appropriate match criteria and actions. D. You should apply the firewall filter to the appropriate IRB interface. 5. You are a network operator who wants to add a second ISP connection and remove the default route to the existing ISP. You decide to deploy the BGP protocol in the network. What 2 statements are correct in this scenario? Choose 2. AI BGP updates the next hop attribute to ensure reachability within an AS. B. IBGP peers advertise routes received from eBGP peers to other IBGP peers. CIBGP peers advertise routes received from IBGP peers to other IBGP peers. DEBGP peers advertise routes received from IBGP peers to other eBGP peers. 6. You are troubleshooting a BGP routing issue between your network and a customer router and are reviewing the BGP routing policies. Which 2 statements are correct in this scenario? Choose 2. A. Export policies are applied to routes in the RIB lane table. B. Import policies are applied to routes in the RIB local table. C. Import policies are applied after the RIB lane table. D. Export policies are applied after the RIB local table. 7. You deployed a new X-series switch with DHCP snooping enabled and you do not see any entries in the snooping databases for an interface. Which 2 Juniper configurations for that interface caused this issue? Choose 2. A. The interface is configured as a disabled port. B. MAC limiting is enabled on the interface. C. The interface is configured as a trunk port. D. Dynamic ARP inspection is enabled on the interface. 8. Which two statements are true about the default VLAN on Juniper switches? Choose 2. A. The default VLAN is set to a VLAN ID of 1 by default. B. The default VLAN ID is not assigned to any interface. C. The default VLAN ID is not visible. D. The default VLAN ID can be changed. 9. You need to configure a lag between your switches. In this scenario, which two statements are correct? Choose 2. A. Duplex and speed settings are not required to match on both participating devices. B. Duplex and speed settings are required to match on both participating devices. C. Member links are not required to be contiguous ports. D. Member links are required to be contiguous ports. 10. Which two statements correctly describe RSTP port roles? Choose 2. A. The designated port forwards data to the downstream network segment or device. B. The backup port is used as a backup for the root port. C. The alternate port is a standby port for an edge port. D. The root port is responsible for forwarding data to the root bridge.